I will always be right here, waiting for you.
The theater lights dim just enough to soften the massive America's Got Talent stage, but they still feel blinding to the small Filipino boy standing alone at center stage. The red tents loom behind him like silent judges of their own. The crowd of thousands stretches upward into darkness, faces barely visible, voices blending into a low, restless hum. For him, it feels like the entire world is watching. He adjusts the microphone stand with trembling fingers. The boy looks no older than 14. His shoulders are slightly hunched, not from fear alone, but from years of learning to make himself small. His shirt is neatly pressed but clearly worn, the fabric faded from too many washes. His shoes, clean but old, scuff softly against the polished stage floor as he shifts his weight from one foot to the other. A camera zooms in. Up close, his eyes tell a story before he ever opens his mouth. They are gentle, cautious eyes. The kind that have seen too much too soon. Eyes that have learned how to wait, how to hope quietly, how to survive disappointment without letting it show. He takes a slow breath, chest rising and falling, trying to calm the storm inside him. The host steps closer, offering a warm smile. "What's your name?" he asks. The boy swallows. His voice comes out soft, almost fragile. He says his name carefully, as if afraid it might break if spoken too loudly. The microphone amplifies every breath, every tiny shake in his voice. "And where are you from?" "From the Philippines," he answers, his accent gentle, sincere. A few people in the audience clap politely, not loudly, just enough. Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. He has seen thousands of contestants walk onto this stage. Big dreams, bigger promises. Most leave the same way they came, hopeful but forgotten. The boy glances toward the judge's table, then quickly looks down again. The host nods encouragingly. "So, tell us about yourself." There is a pause, the kind of pause that stretches just long enough to feel uncomfortable. The boy's hands tighten around the microphone. His knuckles turn pale. He takes another breath, deeper this time. "I come from a poor family," he begins. The words land softly, without drama. He doesn't say them for sympathy. He says them because they are simply true. The theater quiets. "My parents work very hard," he continues. "Sometimes there is not enough money. Sometimes we don't know if tomorrow will be better." A woman in the audience leans forward. The boy keeps his eyes lowered, focused somewhere between the stage lights and the floor. It's easier that way. If he looks up, he might see pity, and pity is harder to carry than hunger. "I sing," he says, almost apologetically, "because it helps me forget." The host gently asks, "When did you start singing?" The boy's lips curve into the smallest smile. "When I was very young," he says. "At night, when everyone is asleep." A few quiet murmurs ripple through the crowd. He explains how he practiced in whispers so he wouldn't wake his family, how he sang into a pillow, how music became his escape when the house was silent and his thoughts were loud. Sometimes, he admits, "I sing when I am hungry. It makes the pain go away." That's when the room truly changes. The casual curiosity turns into something heavier, something human, something shared. One judge shifts in their seat, another nods slowly. Simon's crossed arms loosen. The boy pauses, fighting the tightness in his throat. He blinks rapidly, determined not to cry. Crying, he has learned, does not fix anything. The host speaks softly now. "And why did you come here?" The boy lifts his head for the first time. His voice steadies. "I came here because this is my dream," he says. "I want to help my family. I want to show them that all the nights of singing were not for nothing." The audience erupts into gentle applause, not loud, not explosive, but full of respect. The boy bows his head slightly, overwhelmed. Simon leans forward. "What will you be singing today?" Simon asks, his tone curious but cautious. The boy's hands tremble again. "It is a song. That means everything to me," he replies. Simon nods once. "All right." The music cue hasn't started yet. The silence feels thick, heavy, expectant. The boy closes his eyes. He takes one final breath, the kind you take before stepping into the unknown, before risking your heart, before daring to believe that maybe, just maybe, this moment could change everything. The stage lights narrow into a single beam around him. In the audience, people lean forward without realizing it. Simon watches closely now. And just as the first note is about to leave his lips, the world seems to stop. The piano's opening chord is barely audible, more felt than heard. A soft vibration hums through the massive theater, rolling gently beneath the boy's feet like a quiet promise. The Filipino boy remains perfectly still at center stage, eyes closed, hands gripping the microphone as if it's the only thing keeping him anchored to the ground. For a moment, nothing happens. The silence stretches, not empty but heavy, the kind of silence where every breath matters. Simon Cowell tilts his head slightly. He has learned to read the first seconds of a performance. Often, that's all it takes. The judges wait. The audience waits. The cameras zoom closer, capturing the faint rise and fall of the boy's chest. Then, he sings. The first note leaves his lips like a fragile confession. It isn't loud, it isn't flashy. There are no runs or tricks, just a pure, trembling tone that floats into the air, raw and unguarded, as if he's opening his heart without knowing whether anyone will catch. The effect is immediate. The room freezes. A collective breath is held. Somewhere in the audience, a woman gasps softly, her hand flying to her mouth. A man beside her leans forward, eyes widening, as if he's afraid the sound might disappear if he blinks. The note hangs there, steady, aching, impossibly sincere. Simon's posture changes instantly. His arms uncross, his body leans forward. His eyes sharpen, not with judgment, but with surprise. The guarded expression he walked in with softens, replaced by something rare, attention. The boy opens his eyes. He sings the next line, his voice gaining strength without losing its vulnerability. It carries the weight of every night he sang alone, every silent prayer whispered into the dark. Each word lands carefully, like footsteps on fragile ground. The audience doesn't move, not a cough, not a whisper. Even the cameras seem to slow. A judge presses their lips together, fighting emotion. Another's eyes glisten under the stage lights. The boy's voice doesn't demand attention, it earns it. As the melody builds, so does the story inside his sound. You can hear the hunger, the hope, the fear of being forgotten, the stubborn belief that maybe life can be kinder. A tear slides down the cheek of a woman in the front row. She doesn't wipe it away. The boy reaches the chorus. His voice lifts, not louder but deeper, stronger. It fills the space in a way no one expected, wrapping itself around the audience like a shared memory. Something personal, something universal. Simon exhales slowly. He nods, almost imperceptibly. This isn't just singing, this is truth. The boy's hands stop shaking. For the first time since stepping onto the stage, he feels it, the connection, the moment when fear dissolves and only the song remains. He forgets the cameras, the judges, the crowd. There is only the music. His voice cracks on one note, just slightly. And instead of breaking the moment, it makes it real. The audience reacts as one, a soft murmur, a wave of emotion rolling outward. People glance at each other, silently acknowledging what they're feeling. Something rare is happening, and everyone knows it. The boy closes his eyes again, surrendering to the song. The bridge arrives quietly. The music drops back, giving his voice nowhere to hide. He sings softer now, almost whispering. The microphone captures every breath, every fragile inflection. Simon swallows hard. He has heard perfection before. This isn't perfection. This is honesty. The final chorus builds gently. The boy's voice rises, stronger than before, layered with resolve. He isn't singing to escape anymore. He's singing to be seen. As the last note approaches, the theater feels impossibly small, as if the entire world has been compressed into this single moment. He holds the note, just long enough, then lets it go, silence. For half a second, no one reacts. It's as if the audience needs permission to breathe again. Then, the applause explodes. People leap to their feet. A standing ovation surges through the theater like a wave crashing into shore. Cheers mix with sobs. Hands clap above heads. Strangers hug strangers. The boy stands frozen, eyes wide, overwhelmed by the sound. He hadn't expected this. He doesn't know what to do with it. Simon rises slowly from his chair. He doesn't clap wildly, he claps deliberately, respectfully. His expression is unguarded now, eyes shining. The other judges stand beside him. The boy's chest heaves as emotion finally catches up with him. Tears spill freely down his cheeks. He bows his head, pressing his lips together to keep from breaking apart entirely. He looks up at the audience. They're all standing. For him, the music fades completely, the applause refuses to stop, and somewhere above the stage, the golden buzzer glows. Silent for now, waiting. The boy wipes his eyes with the back of his hand, still holding the microphone, still trying to understand how one note could change everything. He doesn't know it yet, but in this moment, his life has already shifted. The applause refuses to fade. It crashes through the theater in relentless waves, echoing off the walls, rising higher and higher until it feels like the building itself is shaking. Thousands of people stand on their feet, clapping above their heads, cheering through tears. The sound is overwhelming, not just loud, but alive. At the center of it all, the Filipino boy stands frozen. His hands still grip the microphone, but his fingers no longer feel it. His chest rises and falls rapidly, breath catching as emotion floods in all at once. His vision blurs. The lights above him smear into gold and white streaks as tears spill freely down his cheeks. He bows his head, trying to breathe. He has never experienced anything like this, never imagined it. On the judges' panel, Simon Cowell remains standing, his slow, deliberate clapping cutting through the chaos. His eyes never leave the boy. There is no sarcasm on his face now, no skepticism. Only something rare, respect. The other judges exchange looks, silently asking the same question. Did that really just happen? The host steps onto the stage, but even he hesitates, unsure how to interrupt a moment this pure. Finally, he raises his hand gently, signaling for the applause to settle. It takes time. The audience doesn't want to let go. When the noise finally lowers to a steady roar, the host turns to the boy. "How are you feeling right now?" he asks softly. The boy lifts his head. He tries to speak, but no sound comes out. His lips tremble. He swallows hard, nodding as if to say, "I don't know." The crowd responds with another surge of applause, encouraging him, holding him up when his voice cannot. Simon leans toward his microphone. "You know," he says slowly, his voice thicker than usual, "I've sat here for a long time." The room grows quiet again. "I've heard thousands of singers," Simon continues. "Big voices, perfect voices, trained voices." He pauses, eyes fixed on the boy. "And then someone like you walks out." The boy listens, tears dripping from his chin onto the stage floor. "What you just did," Simon says, "wasn't about hitting notes. It wasn't about impressing anyone." Simon exhales. "It was about truth." "And that is very rare," the audience murmurs, in agreement. Simon stands fully now, stepping slightly away from the table. "And I want you to remember this moment," he adds, "because your life just changed." The boy's eyes widen. He doesn't understand yet, not fully. The host turns toward the judges' panel. "I think I know where this is going," he says, smiling. The crowd begins to buzz. A judge places their hand near the large, glowing golden buzzer. The boy notices the movement. His breath stops. He looks from the judges to the audience, confusion and hope colliding in his expression. He has watched this show before. He knows what that buzzer means. But the idea that it could be for him feels impossible, like dreaming while awake. The judge glances at Simon. Simon nods once. That's all it takes. Slam. The golden buzzer is hit. For a split second, there is silence. Then, the theater erupts. Golden confetti explodes from above, raining down like a storm of light. The music swells triumphantly as the boy gasps, his hands flying to his mouth. His knees buckle, and he drops to the stage floor, overwhelmed, sobbing openly now. He doesn't try to stop it. The golden confetti sticks to his hair, his clothes, his tears. He looks up in disbelief, shaking his head again and again, as if the moment might vanish if he accepts it too quickly. "No, no," he whispers, voice breaking. The audience roars louder. Simon walks around the judge's table and onto the stage. He approaches the boy slowly, carefully, as if not wanting to scare the moment away. When he reaches him, Simon places a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "This is real," Simon says quietly. The boy looks up at him, eyes red, face wet with tears. "For me?" The boy asks, barely audible. Simon nods. For you. The boy collapses forward, burying his face in his hands as emotion crashes over him in waves. Years of hunger, years of doubt, years of singing alone in the dark, all released at once. The judges stand and applaud again. The host joins them. The audience chants his name. The boy's family appears on a screen behind the stage, watching from home. His mother covers her mouth, crying uncontrollably. His father wipes his eyes, pride and disbelief etched across his face. The boy sees them. He reaches out toward the screen. "This is for you," he cries. "For my family." Simon steps back, giving the moment space. "Never stop being you," Simon says. "Never lose that honesty." The boy nods, unable to speak. Golden confetti continues to fall as the music swells one last time. The camera pulls back, capturing the full scene. A small boy standing in a storm of gold, lifted by thousands of strangers who now believe in him. From poverty to possibility. From silence to song. From one trembling note to a moment that will echo forever.